What's up, YouTube? So in this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Miami Dolphins roster, upcoming free agents, draft picks, stuff like that. So first, I just want to kind of take a quick glance at our salary cap situation. We are negative 14. We are 14 million in the hole. So we're definitely going to have to address that before we can really do much of anything. Yeah, we are in a rough situation. So I'm going to go position by position. So right now, at quarterback, Tua is the only quarterback we have under roster. We have him until 2028. Obviously, with the contract we just gave him, Skylar Thompson is a Steeler, and Tyler Huntley was only on a one-year deal. So we don't have a quarterback moving forward. I will take a quick glance at our draft picks real quick. We do have our first round, second round. We have a third round comp pick, which is for Robert Hunt. Unfortunately, the Christian Wilkins got hurt, so we didn't end up with two third round comps. We ended up with a fourth for Wilkins. Unfortunately, we have our fourth, like I said, the Christian Wilkins comp pick in the fourth, a fifth, well, 2/5 actually, 2 sevenths, and a seventh round comp pick as well. So we do have quite a few picks, assuming we don't trade them. So yeah, we are going to have to address quarterback. I wouldn't necessarily mind bringing Tyler Huntley back for cheap. I do want to draft a quarterback potentially in this class, but I don't want to go into the draft with just Tua in our quarterback room. Because ideally, when I enter a draft, I don't want to have to draft anything. Like, I don't want to go in there knowing I cannot walk out of that draft without a quarterback on my roster. Like, I would like to sign a veteran and draft a guy, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I'm thinking. And it would be like a later round, like fourth round or something. Maybe even that Christian Wilkins comp pick. That could be ideal. Moving on to running back, we are losing Jeff Wilson. I'm not really trying to re-sign him. He can go. That's fine. Raheem Mostert, we only have for one more year. Devon Achane, Jalen Wright. You can see their contracts here. I don't think we really need to sign any running backs. I think I would like to draft one, probably in day 3 somewhere. I want a power guy. I mean, we've got 3 speed backs. I want a power guy to pair with them. That's just kind of how I'm feeling about that. It doesn't show fullback here going position by position, but Alec Ingold we do still have for 2 years. So I just want to address that. So that's awesome. Wide receiver, though, we definitely need help. Tyreek Hill, it seems he's calmed down about wanting to leave, so that's nice. But we still have him for 2 more years. I wouldn't necessarily mind trading him, though, if we can, just because of that contract. Like I said, we are $14 million in the hole. We still got Waddle for a while. We just re-signed him. But after that, it kind of falls off. Malik Washington, we just drafted him. Same with Taj. Taj didn't play because he got hurt. We still have them for cheap for quite a few years. We don't even really know what Taj can do at the next level because, like I said, he did get hurt. He is a good punt returner, though. I did like him in college. Good route runner, good punt returner. So that's at least 4. But after that, I mean, Eric Ezukanma is on contract. Tanner Conner is really more of a tight end. But sure, I guess he's here. Odell, this is just a void year. He's not actually on the roster. Tariq Black, whatever. So, yeah, we are going to have to address wide receiver at some point. We are definitely losing some guys. Berrios, Craycraft, Eskridge, Schwartz, and DeBose. If we can bring back Craycraft, I wouldn't necessarily mind that. If we can get a similar deal as this, bring him back one more year. Just a cheap 1-year deal, bring him into camp, see what happens. Like I said, sign another receiver so we don't feel like we are obligated to draft the receiver. That kind of thing. So I wouldn't mind that. And if we can get a decent deal in free agency with somebody, I wouldn't mind that. Tight end, we're pretty quiet. We're only losing Jack Stoll. But we are going to have to address tight end because, as you can see, we've only got all 4 of our tight ends. We have 1 more year with them. Now, Hayden Rucci, we do have the exclusive rights free agency tag next year that we can use, which basically keeps him at a league minimum. And he wouldn't be able to sign with anybody else. We can just press a button and keep him for cheap. So that is something we could do with him next year. But even still, I do kind of want to draft a tight end somewhere in day 3. We have a lot of day 3 picks. So that is something I would like to do. So, yeah. Moving on to the offensive line. This is a mess. Patrick Paul, he did start to play better at the end of the year. I was watching the tape a little bit last few days. But I still am not super pleased with with where he's at. I'm not really comfortable starting him. Teron Armstead, I don't know if he's going to play or not next year. I kind of want him to retire. I'm done with him. Like, he can barely finish a drive at this point, let alone a game. And I wish I was exaggerating on that, but I'm really not. Austin Jackson, he's becoming injury prone as well. And I think his play kind of declined a little bit this year too. And on the interior, it was real bad. I know people were kind of high on Aaron Brewer this year. I was not. I didn't think his play was that great. We're probably stuck with him because we have so many other needs on the offensive line. We still have him for 2 years. But guard is really bad. We are losing Isaiah Wynn, Keon Smith, Rob Jones, and Liam Eichenberg. I don't feel like we can safely let all of them go at the same time. Keon Smith, who cares? But Rob Jones, Eichenberg, and Wynn, I think we're going to have to re-sign at least one of those guys for cheap. Rob Jones can go. I don't really want him. Isaiah Wynn, I mean, he just got hurt, so we might be able to get him for cheap. Eichenberg, if we can get him for a discount, I wouldn't mind keeping either as a backup. He is a guy that has played tackle, guard, and center for us. Just because, like I said, we have no depth. And, like, right now, could we – yeah, we only guard we have is Chase and Hines. Like, right now, if we had to start a game, we have Austin Jackson and Teron Armstead, potentially, at tackle. And if Armstead retires, it's Patrick Paul at left tackle. We have Aaron Brewer. But we have no guards at all. So – yeah, offensive line is going to have to be an aggressive priority in free agency and the draft. That's where I'm at. So, yeah. Moving forward to the defensive line, looking at interior guys first. Zach Sealer and Neil Farrell are our only interior D linemen on the roster, and Neil Farrell's only got 1 more year. So that's something we're going to have to attack too. Oh, also with offensive line, Jackson Carman, we're losing him too. Forgot to mention that. Whatever. But yeah, Benito Jones, Matt Dickerson, Calais Campbell, Deshaun Hand. We're losing all of those guys. Calais Campbell, if he's willing to come back, like if he doesn't retire and he's willing to come back to the Dolphins for another year for a similar contract, I would love to have him. And hopefully have a better season with him. He played great for us. He's an ageless wonder. I would love to have him back if he doesn't retire and he wants to come back. Deshaun Hand, same thing. If we can get him for a similar deal, I would love to have him as depth. He's played really well for us. But I still want to draft a defensive tackle. This class is full of them. And in the last few draft classes, their defensive tackle has been really, really terrible. And this year's got a lot of them. So I do want to partake. I do want one of these defensive tackles. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at there. As far as edge rusher goes, we are losing Agba. Yeah, Cameron Good, he can go. Quentin Bell, sure. Tyus Bowser, sure. Yeah. Not a whole lot there. But Chop Robinson played really well for us in his rookie year. So I was pleased with that. Mo Kamara really didn't play at all. Grayson Murphy was an undrafted guy that I believe got hurt. William Bradley King was just a practice squad guy, so whatever there. Bradley Chubb, I think I want to move on from. If we can trade him for literally anything, anyone that's willing to take that contract and have him. Like, I'll take a 7th-round pick at this point just to get the contract off our hands. He's so injury-prone at this point. But we are going to have to address edge pretty aggressively. And Jalen Phillips, we only have 1 year left with him, and I don't know if I really want to re-sign him. He's been super injury-prone as well. And we knew that when we drafted him, and we knew Bradley Chubb was going to be injury-prone when we took him from Denver. They're both very talented players, but we need reliability. We need them to be here. So that kind of is what that is. So that's kind of where I'm feeling. Now, as far as linebacker goes, we definitely need help there too. Jordan Brooks is our only starting caliber linebacker. We will be losing a lot of guys. Terrell Dodson, I thought, played pretty well for us when Anthony Walker went down. Anthony Walker, I think, played pretty well. If we can get one of these guys back for fairly cheap, I would love to. Maybe even both, again, if we can get them at a discount. But we're definitely going to have to address linebacker at some point in this draft or free agency as well. So definitely going to have to be looking out for that. So moving on to corner. Obviously, we got Ramsey, who's made some questionable comments as well. But, I mean, that is what that is. I don't think we can really afford to move on from him right now. We have too much to do. Kendall Fuller was hurt a lot this year. Not really surprised there either. But we only have 1 more year with him as well. So that's unfortunate. These are void years. Cam Smith, I don't even know what to do with him. We still have 2 years with him, but I don't know how much I really trust him. Ethan Bonner and Storm Duck. They're both outside corners, so is Isaiah Johnson. Kader Kohu is set to be a free agent this year. I would like to potentially try to bring him back if we can get him for cheap. Because besides Kendall Fuller, we don't have another nickel on our roster. So if we can get Kader Kohu back for like a cheap, like 1 or 2 year deal, I'd be down. Because all these guys are outside boundary corners. So, yeah. That is a little bit concerning. And safety is really bad. Patrick Morris and Jordan Colbert are our only safeties right now. Javon Holland, Jordan Poyer, as well as Syrian Neal and Elijah Campbell are all free agents. So that's really bad for us. Javon Holland, I would like to be able to bring back. I really would. I don't know if we are going to be able to find the money to do it, though. That it's going to be really tough. The other guys can probably go. Syrian Neal, I mean, if we can get him back for a similar deal, I wouldn't mind it. What was same with Jordan Poyer, actually. If we can get actually Poyer can probably go. Man, safety is going to be tough, man. We are going to have to attack safety pretty aggressively. But we're going to have to re-sign one of these guys. Otherwise, we're going to need 2 safeties in this draft. We're going to need a strong safety and a free. Patrick Morris, I'm not wanting to start him at all. I'm trying to let him play special teams, and that's about it. And be a backup strong. Man, we are in a rough spot with our defensive backs. Lastly, special teams. Jason Sanders had a much better year this year. Definitely excited about that. We still have him for 2 more years. Happy about that. Jake Bailey, I know we still have a year left. I want to move on. He's been terrible. I didn't want to re-sign him this year. I would like to move on from him. Sign a free agent. Something. I want to move on from him. He's been bad. Really, for most of his career. I mean, the first couple years there in New England were really good. Like, he was an all-pro, Pro Bowl level punter. But then he hurt his back, and ever since, he hasn't been the same. And he's been kind of a liability for us. Now, Blake Ferguson, I kind of want to move on from too. He was hurt all year. You're having to play mismatch and sign different long snappers all year. Yeah, yeah, I'm honestly with long snapper. I don't even really want to be hearing your name. Like, I just want them to be doing their job. Like if you were a receiver, something like that, I don't even want to have to be thinking about my damn long snapper. That's kind of how I feel. I don't know though. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, I just wanted to kind of touch base with y'all, go over my thoughts on the roster and where we're at. I mean, this is terrible. We're going to have to figure something out here. We're going to have to move some people around, change some contracts. I mean, we have a lot of work to do. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, I'd appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.